Good morning, everyone. All right. So this week I am still reading from Reverend Ike's, excuse me. Uh, I'm still reading from Reverend Ike's Secrets for Health, Joy, and Prosperity for You, a Science of Living study guide. You can get the book at reverendikelegacy.com. Last week I read chapter 16, and that was You Are Your Self Awareness. And this week is chapter 17, and it is from ordinary to extraordinary. And here we go. Should have turned my phone off. With God, all things are possible. Matthew 19:26. A science of living principle. Separate the truth of a person from what he appears to be. Look all the way through what appears and see him, his divine self, the presence of God within him. See him as he really is. There's only one true identity, and that is the divine self. For years, we have read the beautiful verse of scripture, with God, all things are possible, Matthew 19:26. And we have had it preached at us. I know it, I believe it, and I am living proof of it. But it is not enough for us to know that with God all things are possible. We must learn to make that which is possible a reality. Make success out of your possibilities. That which is possible is no good to us until we make it a reality. Ask yourself this question. What are some of my possibilities? Some people conclude that they don't have many possibilities, so they never look for them, never discover them, and never turn to them into realities. People like that say to me, "Why, Reverend Ike, I don't have any talent. I don't have any gifts." But let me tell you, everyone has some talent, some possibility within that he or she can turn into reality. You have some talent, some possibility within you that you can make into reality. Some of the most unlikely people have done some of the most good. Some of the most unlikely people have become successful and rich. There was a light in Thomas Edison's mind. I just love to tell the story about Thomas Edison because he is someone who discovered the possibilities within him and made them realities for the whole world. He was an ordinary man who became extraordinary. Thomas Edison went to a church school where a minister was the headmaster. One day, the headmaster got so aggravated at Thomas's that he wrote a note to Thomas's mother and sent him home with it. The note said, "Don't send this boy back to school. His brains are addled and he cannot learn." From that point on, Thomas Edison's mother gave him what little formal education he got. Thomas Edison did not accept, I'll say that again. Thomas Edison did not accept the idea that his brains were addled and he couldn't learn. As far as that particular teacher was concerned, this boy was a hopeless case. He didn't have any ability, he didn't have any talent, but there was a light in Thomas Edison's mind. He went out and lit up the whole wide world and brought forth so many, many great inventions. Years later, after Thomas Edison became wealthy and well known, that same teacher wrote him a letter and said, "Dear Mr. Edison, I hope you remember me. I used to be your school master. Now I'm old and on the retired list and don't get much money. Since you are now so wealthy and famous, I was wondering if you would help me." Thomas Edison sent him $25, probably $25 more than I would have sent him. I would have sent him a nice letter, however. That which is a possibility is no good to us until we make it a reality. I'll say that again. That which is a possibility is no good to us until we make it a reality. God guided Dr. George Washington Carver. Dr. George Washington Carver, a Black man growing up and working under the most disadvantageous conditions, discovered the talents that were in him and brought forth many inventions. He said he would just walk across the field and ask God to guide him. God would guide him to pick up some ordinary element from the earth, like a peanut or sweet potato. The eye of God through him would see so many unusual things in that ordinary element. Out of the peanut, for example, he made over 300 products like soap and ink, products you might be using every day and not even know it. From the ordinary sweet potato, he made 118 products like flour, shoe blackening, and candy. So many different things he brought forth from ordinary, everyday foods. He was an ordinary man who became an extraordinary man. And in those days, who would have thought a Black man, particularly, would become extraordinary? All things are possible, but until you make them into realities, they are of no use to you. I'll read that again. All things are possible, but until you make them into realities, they are of no use to you. Anyone joining me now? I am reading from Reverend Ike's study guide. You can get it from reverendikelegacy.com. And I'm on chapter 17, and it's titled From Ordinary to Extraordinary. I'll continue. From an asthmatic to a great outdoorsman. Theodore Roosevelt is another example of someone who developed the possibilities within him into realities. Theodore Roosevelt became a Rough Rider and the 26th president of the United States, but he was born very sickly and very weak. He was an asthmatic and said that he would never live. He was an asthmatic, and the doctor said that he would never live to manhood. But as an asthmatic, when he was a baby and when he was a boy, many nights his father would take him in his arms and walk the floor with him or walk out in the park with him wrapped in a blanket to try to help him get some fresh air into his lungs. One day, Theodore's father just sat him down and said to him, "Now, if you really have the will and desire to live and be well, you can." I'll read that again. One day, Theodore Roosevelt father just sat him down and said to him, "Now, if you really have the will and the desire to live and be well, you can." Young Theodore had the will to live. He exercised himself and he became quite an outdoorsman. He became an extraordinary man. When one of the great men of his day heard that he had later died in his sleep, he remarked, "That's the only way that death could take him, to sneak up on him while he was asleep." When anyone around you tries to talk you down, tries to discourage you from developing possibilities within you, don't listen to them. I'll say that again. When anyone around you tries to talk you down, tries to discourage you from developing possibilities within you, don't listen to them. Everybody called Henry Ford a fool. Henry Ford is another one of my saints. My saints are different from yours, perhaps. Henry Ford is one of the saints of the science of living. If you looked at Henry Ford, there was nothing about him which would give you the idea that, well, this man is going to become a billionaire. Stop and think about that. Not a millionaire, but a billionaire. Henry Ford, who really put the world on wheels, was a common, ordinary man. He had no visible talents, and no one told him he had great possibilities. He worked on his little gasoline engine, and at one point in the process, he held a little contraption over the sink in the kitchen while his wife dripped the gasoline into the engine. He got a dentist to make the first spark plug. When he finally got the little contraption so that it would run, everybody in his neighborhood and in his village called him a fool. Preachers called the automobile the devil horse, but now they all ride in one. Don't listen to anyone's negative talk. Again, don't listen to anyone's negative talk. Both in the case of Edison and in the case of Ford, they didn't pay any attention when preachers, teachers, or anyone else tried to talk them down. When anyone around you tries to talk you down, tries to discourage you from developing the possibilities within you, don't listen to them. Don't listen to anyone's negative talk. Don't pay attention to anyone who is trying to talk you down. Ordinary people. I find one mistake that people make is this: they seem to think that extremely successful people, extremely wealthy people, or perhaps extremely gifted. But even a brief and superficial inspection of the subject will reveal to you that this is not so. The fantastic inventions that have come forth in this world have come forth to a great degree from ordinary people. People who nobody thought had any talents or possibilities within them have made their mark on the world in positive, wonderful ways. Go to the library. That's my favorite place. You know that. Go to the library and read up on the lives of the great inventors and the great successful people, and let each of their stories be an inspiration to you. It will surprise you that many of these people were ordinary. And not only were most of these people ordinary, some of these people became the very opposite of what condition says they could be. I'll read that one again. Go to the library and read up on the lives of the great inventors and the great successful people, and let each of their stories be an inspiration to you. And not only, it will surprise you that many of these people were just ordinary. And not only were most of these people ordinary, some of these people became the very opposite of what condition says they could be. The fantastic inventions that come forth in this world have come forth to great degree from ordinary people. So, decide what you want to be, to do, and to have. Open your mind to the idea that you can make reality out of possibility. Within you is the presence and power of God. This is your true self. Look to the presence and power of God within to make that which is possible a reality, and you too will become extraordinary. Here's some quotes to remember. There's only one true identity, and that is the divine self. That's from Reverend Knight. The reward of a thing well done is to have done it. That's from Ralph Waldo Emerson. They can because they think they can. That's from Virgil. Thinking is the hardest work there is, which is the probable reason why so few engage in it. That's from Henry Ford. Reverend Ike always ends his lessons with an affirmative treatment. And I'll read that now. Right here and right now, I open my mind to all the great possibilities within me. Through the presence of God in me, all things are possible. The mind of God in me gives me great ideas, which prosper me and make me successful. The mind of God in me is always giving me new and better ideas for making money. I see myself with an abundance of money in my hand, in my wallet, in my pocketbook, in my bank accounts. Through the presence of God in me, I know it is possible to enjoy all the riches of life, health, happiness, love, success, prosperity, and money. Thank you, God in me. So be it, and so it is. And of course, at the end, he has review questions. One, why is it not enough to know that with God all things are possible? What more must we do? Two, do you have to be extremely gifted to be extremely successful and extremely wealthy? We know the answer to that. No. Three, can you think of other ordinary people who did extraordinary things? Four, list some of your possibilities. How are you going to make them realities? Five, how should you regard other people's discouraging remarks towards you? That is the end of chapter 17, From Ordinary to Extraordinary. I have read from Reverend Ike's study guide. Next week will be chapter 18, God Has Given You Winning Power. Again, it's from Reverend Ike's study guide. You can get the ebook or the hard copy from ReverendIkeLegacy.com. I will see you all next week. Take your ordinary self and be extraordinary. Have a great week, everybody.